Hey everybody, hello. I am cooking up a cauliflower salad for dinner tonight. So I thought I'd come on and show you what I'm cooking and give you some ideas. So what we're going to need is cauliflower, celery, a couple of cucumbers, I've got half a red onion, an avocado, any herbs that you sort of like, and then for the mayo, oil, 3 eggs, apple cider vinegar, some mustard, and then also for the salad some macadamia nuts. So one thing that I do while I'm cutting up this cauliflower, I'll just talk to you a bit about how I get prepared, because I know everybody's time poor at some stage in their life, and sometimes it's like, oh my god, it's just easier just to go and do this, or I'll just eat what everybody else is eating because it's easier, or I'll just go across the road because we've got this little cafe across the road at the workshop. Just go across the road and just grab lunch because I didn't get prepared. So I do a couple of things on Sundays that help me get prepared. And you know, some Sundays we don't get back from fishing till late or something and it doesn't happen. So then I just do the best that I can. Now, what I do is when the veggies all come home, I fill up my sink in the kitchen and I put all the, I'm just going to grab a bowl. I put all my veggies in there. So I have celery cut up in sticks like this. I cut it all up, have it all ready to go, all washed, so that then I don't have to worry about doing anything when I want to go and cook. It's just grab it straight out and start cooking. I'm just going to move this down a bit without knocking it off so you can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm just cutting up like little florets of cauliflower here, and I'm going to cook these in an air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer, that's fine. Turn your oven on to 220 or something like that, because you just want this to be a fast thing. And you guys, I am not prim and proper when it comes to cooking. I believe that the more rustic it is, the better it is. And there's more flavour in things that are not all precise, I think, anyway. And fat is our friend. We, when we used to cook, if our soups or anything like that had a film of fat on the top or anything like that, we called that the ring of confidence. That meant that it was going to taste good, because fat is where flavour comes from. And so any sort of foods that is like low fat and stuff like that, what they've actually done is taken the fat out and then replaced it with sugar and salt. And it's not good quality salt, like I've sent you all in your packs. It's not a real good quality salt. It's the salt that's half full of plastics and stuff. So what you want to do is have the thing that's closest to nature. So if you're going to drink milk or dairy or anything like that, don't go for the low fat option. If you have yogurt or anything like that, don't go for the low fat option. It is a myth that fat will cause the heart disease. The other stuff that they put into it, because you take fat out of something, what's going to thicken it? So then they've got to put other things in it to help thicken it up. And you can see this, hey Tammy, hey Jackie, you can see this when you read the labels on some foods, how they have to put an emulsifier in it, or they have to put some sort of acid regulator in it, because they took all the good stuff out. Because if you ate as the way nature intended, you wouldn't have indigestion. You wouldn't have half the things that we've got going on these days. So, like I said, all I'm doing, we're making a cauliflower salad here. So I just cut the cauliflower up like that. Now another thing that saves time is I have good quality salt. So I have either pink Himalayan flakes, I like the flake salt, or Craig's got this other stuff, I think it's Malden or something like that, in a green and white box. And then we just mix it with pepper. This was something that we used to do in the kitchen, so we didn't have to go salt and then pepper. You want it to be as fast as possible. So I'm just going to put a good chunk of it on there. So remember, where we're going in this Wild Fit challenge, the salt that I've sent you is going to come in really handy, because we're going to start to add it to the water that we drink. So it's going to replace electrolytes and stuff, because most people are dehydrated. That's why they can't concentrate, and that's why things can be a little bit tough. But I'll just grab the olive oil, I didn't get that out. So we're just gonna put a bit of olive oil on this and toss it around, and then I'm just gonna chuck it straight into the air fryer for 15 or 20 minutes or so. Right, so here's my air fryer. So I'm just gonna chuck it in there, and in the air fryer, just chuck it in on 180, and what we're gonna go back and do every now and then is just give it a stir. Because it's pretty chockers in there, but that's okay, it'll be fine. So I'll put that on in my air fryer on 200, it's over there in the corner. And now we're gonna make the salad dressing. So I always have mayonnaise in the fridge. We went camping the other weekend and my sister was making a broccoli salad and she's like, Polly, I'm gonna make this broccoli salad, have you got any mayonnaise? So she came and stole it, so now I have to make more. So just 3 egg yolks. And we're gonna do this in a NutriBullet. Now, if you don't have some sort of NutriBullet or a Thermomix or something like that, you're gonna have to get yourself one. So I think there are like cheaper options. I think I got this NutriBullet. It's a nice pretty colour, this one. So I think this one was like 89 bucks or something like that from Myers when I was down in Adelaide at Christmas time in March. But I'm pretty sure other people have like Ninja Bullets and stuff like that. They work fine. And if you get a bit of egg white in this, don't stress about it. I just want you to go for the place that cooking is easy and that it's not as stressful as some people make out to be. I did have a tea towel out, but I must have put it back in the cupboard. And also, it doesn't have to be so time consuming. So I like just to do things quickly. So then mustard powder, like you can use the jar mustard. I just find that it has lots of other stuff in it. So, and because I've been on this journey for a little bit, I want to clean out as much as I can out of my diet. So just a teaspoon of mustard powder. Now my eggs are from a local person here that has an egg farm. And so they're organic and free range. And so we're just going to put a bit of apple cider vinegar in that. So if you've never made mayonnaise in a NutriBullet, this will be a little bit noisy. But you need to put the kettle on. I didn't do that. So then all we're going to do is, and I'll put this here so you can see it, is normally you do this in a Thermomix or in a bowl with beaters or something like that, and you will just mix all this up and then slowly drizzle in oil. With a NutriBullet you don't have to. So you just mix that up. Now, this may not be exactly Wild Fit, but I use this oil, so Mayo olive oil. This is from Woolworths. It is, it's a product of Spain. Anyway, it's got refined oil and then refined olive oil and then extra virgin. Because I make a big heap of it, because we eat it a fair bit, I use this oil because it's stabilised more in the fridge. If you just use pure olive oil, like extra virgin olive oil, you could only make 1 egg at a time, and you'd have to make it every few days because this stuff will solidify in the fridge. If you use this sort of olive oil, it would solidify. So we're going to just put in maybe a quarter or a third sort of thing. Now because this thing does it so fast, just let it sit there for a minute, just let it break up, like go down a bit. So because this goes so fast, you can actually do a little bit more oil at a time. And then I just tap it just to get it off the blade a bit more. And then we're just going to do a bit more again. And so look at that, like it's already thickening up pretty good. And you won't use the whole amount of oil. That's probably going to be all it will take. And you can just, the thing with this is, I'll tell you this in a sec. So, like, I don't know how long I've been going for, but in that short amount of time, we put cauliflower in the air fryer, and guess what? I just split it. That's fun, isn't it? Don't do that too much oil. Once it gets to that thickness, maybe you should put a little bit of hot water in it. So I'll come back and make some new stuff with that while, and you know, you don't need to throw that away. I'll show you how you actually can do it. Because most people would just chuck that in the bin and say, well, that's dead now and I can't use it. That's not true. All we need to do is number one, don't think about splitting it, because I was thinking like you, it'd be funny if you split this on TV, Polly, and that's exactly what I did. So remember, whatever you think about, you bring about. So we're just going to put one of those in there. A bit more vinegar. And we'll just start it again a bit. And we're just going to tip the one that I split in just a little bit at a time. Because nothing wrong with it, it's just that if I put too much oil into the egg mixture that it couldn't hold it anymore. And I'll just put a bit of oil just to get it back together. Like it's trying to split again, so we just do it a bit at a time. And you can hear from it that it's thickening up. So if you've ever split mayonnaise before, you don't have to chuck it out. You can bring it back, because it's not like it's rotten or anything. It's just that the amount of egg, the emulsion wasn't enough to hold it together. You know, you turn the fan on. So I've got 10 minutes left on my cauliflower. So see how that's thickened up? What we're going to do, because I didn't really make that much, we're going to add some hot water to it. Now, if you were doing, this is also something you can do with lemons instead of apple cider vinegar, which may be something that you might want to try down the track, but you're just going to put a little bit of hot water in there and it'll thin it out a little bit, so you don't have to add more vinegar or anything like that. And now it's so slippery. So now that's thinned it out a bit, so then I can add some more of this in. I might just wipe this around here so that it stops spilling over. So we've got cauliflower in the air fryer, and I'm going to go and chuck some macadamias in there in a sec and stir it around a bit. So Somebody must have wanted to need this recipe when it's split. It's date night, Wednesday nights at my house, so I like to, and because Wednesdays is my coaching business day, so I spend the day at home working. So if I haven't got calls until 5 or 6 o'clock, I like to cook us something nice to dinner. So hence why we're getting this. So now that's done. That will be a clean up in a moment. I'll just wipe this down. Now the other thing that I did once I started Wild Fit was got rid of a lot of my plastics, because plastics really are porous and stuff as well. So a lot of my containers now that I store stuff in are glass, same as the water bottle that I drink out of. So this is what our mayonnaise is going to look like. So I had a friend come over and stay, she was a chef, and she's like, oh, your hollandaise sauce in the fridge is so nice. And I'm like, that's not hollandaise sauce, Jules, that's mayonnaise. She's like, but it's yellow. And I said, well, because I use really good quality eggs, so the egg yolks are yellow, and because I use the powdered mustard, it stays yellow. So she said, well, anyway, chick, it's real nice. And, you know, you could have put salt and pepper in this, I normally do. I think it threw me because I split it. Anyway, it'll, nice, very nice. And if you ever make mayonnaise and it has got that bit of an oily taste to it, just boil the jug and mix a bit of hot water in it. It gets rid of it and it tastes delicious. Now I just have a sink over there full of hot water, hot soapy water that I just throw everything into. And I'll clean up later, but that's my salad dressing for this salad made. So all of that can get out of the way. I'll use that same bowl that I used to cut the cauliflower up in. And so I'll grab the cauliflower and show you what it looks like. So it's part way there, sort of thing. It's starting to get a bit of colour. Colour's good, colour's flavour. When you can get colour in your veggies, it's a great thing sometimes too, when you sort of have an idea of where we're going. But when there's no sugar in your diet and you're looking for something a bit sweeter, if you put colour in your veggies, that's actually caramelising the sugars in the veggies, because there's sugar in veggies. There's sugar in fruit, there's sugar in lots of other things. But if you caramelise, like get that brownness, that means you caramelise the sugar in the veggies, so you can actually get some sweetness. So I'm just going to chuck some macadamias on this too. Just so, I like crunch, that's me, I like crunch. So that's got 7 minutes left to go on that. Move all this stuff out of the way. Now I have, out of my garden, I have some herbs here. So I've got some parsley, I've got some flat garlic chives, I've got this type of coriander that grows the best up here, the saw leaf ones. And there's a bit of thyme in there too. So thyme, I'll just pull the leaves off the stalks. Put this in this, I'm just using the same bowl that I used to put the cauliflower in. I can't be the chef that uses all the dishes anymore because I have to do my own. I don't have the kitchen hand anymore like I used to in the kitchen. So there are some videos too where I've given you some knife skills in some of the cooking. So when they come at it as they come out, just keep an eye on them, and like they're there to help you along, because cooking can be really fun and it is a creative outlet. For me it is anyway. For some people, like I remember when Carmel, she's like, Polly, I don't even know what to cook, because she was vegan, and she's like, I have no idea. And I was like, okay, let's me do you some recipes. I'll figure something out, and I just play around with. Don't be afraid to try things. The worst that can happen is it doesn't work. I've cooked a few meals, and my kids have, and my husband have gone, we're going to get pizza. So just don't, you've got to be thick-skinned a bit, hey? Like, especially if you're trying something new, like I told you about that, the cauliflower rice pudding. That was quite funny. So just chuck your herbs in there. Like I said, my celery, I cut up, ready to go. I am just going to get rid of the ends because they do dry out a little bit. And the celery for me is adding more crunch in this. Like, I really love crunch. That's one of the things that I miss, like having biscuits and like pieces of toast that are nice and crunchy and stuff like that. That's because I don't eat those things anymore. I have to find it a different way. So I try and find it in my veggies. So celery, cucumber, nuts, seeds sometimes, like pepita seeds or sunflowers, they can go in this too if you like those sorts of things. Then celery, cucumber, goodness. It's been a little while since I've done a cooking show. Now, if you wanted this salad to last a little bit longer, scrape the seeds out of your cucumber, because if you scrape the seeds out, it won't go soggy so fast and make all the other things soggy. But we're eating this tonight, so, and whatever we don't eat tonight, my husband eats tomorrow for lunch. So just going to chuck that in the bowl too. Then red onion, you can use leek if you're not somebody that likes onions and stuff. You can put shallots in. This is just what I had left over from our salad last night, so that's why it's going in there. And make things like different shapes and stuff like that, so there's interest. And when something's interesting, especially if you've got kids and stuff, they want to try it more. Same as hubbies. They're like, oh, what are we eating? Why is this different? You know, if you just cut things up a little bit differently sometimes, it makes a world of difference to the experience that people have. Like, oh, I've never cut it like that before, and then you pique their interest and stuff. So I only use one of those cucumbers. Then I'm going to put a whole avocado in. Another thing that I did the other day was, because I didn't have any mayo and I couldn't be bothered making any, and I wanted curried egg. I love curried egg, and either put in celery and just eat that, or roll in the lettuce leaf. And because I didn't have any mayo, I just mashed up an avocado and then mashed up my eggs, put the curry powder in, and salt and pepper. Delicious, and it was nice and creamy, as if like I'd put mayo or something in it. So there's a thing if you're vegan or vegetarian too, and you don't want to have eggs. Well, I'm eating curried eggs with it anyway, aren't I? So maybe that won't work. That's a bit funny. But yeah, if you don't have mayo, you can always use avocado mashed up, or in the NutriBullet with a bit of olive oil and any herbs and salt and pepper and a bit of lemon juice. That's a dressing in itself. So I'm just gonna, nothing has to be perfect here. So we're just gonna put that in there too. Now I'm just gonna go and check on this cauliflower so I can smell it. Now, so that's perfect. See that? All those nuts are nice and golden as well. Got a different taste and crunch in it. Now the thing is, I'm probably not going to be able to dress this in one go for you because those cauliflower will be hot. I have little basket things in my air fryer so I can grab them out and don't have to wash that whole thing all the time. So I'm just pulling that out and chucking that into a bowl just so it cools down faster. So that's my cauliflower and macadamias. And then to dress this and to make it nice and beautiful, I'm going to need a bigger bowl. And we would put the mayo into this mix. Now, if I put that mayo on that cauliflower now, it would cook the egg and we'd end up with a bit of scrambled. So we don't want that. Put a bit of salt and pepper in that part of the salad. And like I said, I wash everything. So this is my spinach, this is my rocket. I love rocket, that peppery taste is really nice. So what I'm going to do is just in the bottom of a bowl, and if you have a platter, you can do this on a platter, but just put some rocket, I'll swap them over so you can see what I'm doing. Put some rocket into a bowl. There's some older bits in there. Anyway, I always put paper towel underneath my trays that I put my veggies in. So I wash all these because, you know, when you buy bags of lettuce and spinach and stuff like that, they've actually washed it in chlorine, so it's not a good thing to eat. So I always rinse it again, and then I have a salad spinner, and so then I put it into a tray like this, and it's paper towel on top and bottom, and it stays a whole lot fresher, a whole lot longer. So I'm just going to put some of that in the bottom there as well. Now I don't want to mix it in with the salad because then this is going to go all soggy because of the oil in the dressing. So I'm just going to have that on the base. So if you had a nice platter, which I did last night, and we had another salad which is still in the fridge, you would put this on the base first, so then you could just grab a hand, like a tong full of butter. So I'm just going to put that over there. Now the other reason I didn't want to put this in because of the heat too was that the nuts need a chance to go crunchy. So it's nearly there, it won't be long. But we'll mix that bit in there first. So we'll just get a spoonful of mayo, put that in there, mix all that up. And because just break your onion up a bit, because nothing, my husband's not real keen on red onion, but I love it, so he can cook without it, but I won't. Anyway, I think this is cool enough now, I can get my fingers in it. So we'll just mix this in next to. If some nuts don't make it into the bowl, that is fine, just leave them in there and we'll just mix them through at the end. But this is another thing you can do. This is like if you boil up a chicken, or you have like poached chicken or anything like that, or roasted chicken, you can break it up and put this in this, and then it's a salad for the next few days. And if you don't mix it in with lettuce or anything like that, it'll last in the fridge for a few days. Like I said, if you're going to make it for a few days, scrape the seeds out of your cucumber so it doesn't go too soggy in there. But look at that, that looks not so bad, hey? Let's have a little taste of this. Cauliflower is my favourite veggie. Now, anybody would think that I've got 15 people coming for dinner. It's only Craig and I. Anyway, these are the things that I do, so I don't have to cook anymore tomorrow. So then his lunch is done tomorrow, and he eats a fair bit. and that's there. That's fine. If you want to, you can put cherry tomatoes in this, or just decorate it with some cherry tomatoes. Whatever. I think Craig's got mince out for tea tonight. I'm actually thinking I might get some salmon fillets out and cook that up and have crispy skinned salmon with this salad, and that works out really, really yummy. So there's cauliflower, there's mayonnaise, split and then brought back to life again. So I've taught you how to do that. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you want me to cook anything that you maybe, or a few tips or anything, just let me know. I'm happy to do anything like that. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay, bye. And now I've got dirty